Previously on Bullshit Artists.
Spivey is looking into what it means to be a man in America, and he's taking it apart piece by piece.
He's real?
Oh, he's real. He reminded me of a cross between Sal Mineo, the actor, and a twig. Yeah, he looked like a stick bug, and believe me, I wanted to step on that motherfucker more than a few times. He just didn't like people. He called them fuckers. Well, he was an asshole. I mean, Jesus Christ, listen to the message.
Fuck off, and may all your babies drown in a lake of fire.
Jethro Spivey's history is a vapor. Even his biographer, Nathaniel Jordan, admits that what little he could find about Spivey's past were unverifiable stories and anecdotal hearsay. As a result, his biography doesn't even include an educated guess as to his date of birth. Any narrative one tries to construct about Spivey immediately begins to fall apart. It's like walking the shifting sands of a freshly blown desert. In fact, there are so few people that knew Spivey and have any verifiable facts about his past that when you do find one, it makes the story that much more irresistible. I'm Scott Gordon, and this is Bullshit Artists.
Hello,
Hi, I'm trying to reach Jimmy Ronsky.
this is he.
Hi, Jimmy. My name is Scott Gordon, and I am with the podcast Bullshit Artists.
You don't say.
Right. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Oh, sure.
Did you go to a Lee High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana?
Yes, I did.
And do you happen to remember if you had a classmate by the name of Jethro Spivey?
Oh, shit. No, I can't talk right now.
Oh,
I can't talk about it right now. No one, Mama. Listen, I'm gonna have to call you back.
okay. Do you mind?
Can I call you back? I'm gonna call you back. I got your number. I'm gonna call you back.
Okay. Wow. Now is probably a good time to say a few words about Jimmy Ronsky. Jimmy is 60 years old, lives with his mother in the town of Hammond, Louisiana. Now, Hammond is a small town about 20 miles east of Baton Rouge, right down Highway 190. And it's one of those Mayberry-type towns where everyone knows each other's secrets and stories, and Jimmy is at the center of most of these stories. Now, I don't know whether to believe him on most of the things he says, but if Jimmy Ronsky is to be believed, he attended Robert E. Lee High School in the mid-70s with none other than Jethro Spivey. Well, sort of. I'll let Jimmy explain. But Jimmy did call me back a few days later, and let's just say he was in a much more talkative mood.
Well, now it's Lee Magnet High School. It closed in 2009. I think it reopened in 2011 as a magnet school, and they changed the name from Robert E. Lee High School, which is what it was called when I was there. Class of 76, Robert E. Lee High School. And the fight song went something like, Yankees, kill the Yankees. We'll have a stomping on their grave time. A hallelujah. We'll have a gay old time. Something like that. Anyway, that's the one we made up. I'm just kidding you. It wasn't the fight song. But it could have been. I mean, we were hardcore, man. No. We didn't have any. We had half a black person in our graduating class. Yeah, so they were the minority.
Half a black person.
Half, yeah, he was half something else. Yeah, and I was class 76, and Al was class of 75, and we...
Excuse me, Jimmy? Who's Al?
Al Russo, that's his name. He didn't call himself Jethro Spivey back then. He was Al Russo. Alphonse Russo.
Jimmy, are you serious right now?
Yeah, of course.
So his name in high school was not Jethro Spivey. It was
No.
Al Russo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, Jethro Spivey. That ain't a name. That's a pen name.
When did he start using the pen name? Do you know?
I don't know when he started using it, but he was fucking crazy even back then. And no, he did not write plays or poems in high school.
What kind of a kid was he?
He was he was kind of the class idiot. I mean, we had a good time. I was 1 year behind him, so I kind of looked up to him.
And you're serious about the name Al?
Al. Yeah, Al was crazy. But come on, Jethro Spivey, does that sound like any kind of name to you? He was Italian as the day is long. Al Russo. Alphonse Russo. He was a cinder block of a man. He was...
Really? So he was muscular?
Yeah. He was a thick dude.
A thick dude? A cinder block of a man? This flies in the face of publisher Stan Roth's description of Spivey as a cross between Sal Mineo and a stick bug. So I think I've got Jimmy on the ropes finally, and I ask him about this contradiction, and in true Jimmy fashion, he's got a very Jimmy-like response.
Now, I think a few years after high school, he was in an accident, and he was paralyzed from the nipples down, so it might have affected him. He might have thinned up then, so he could have been skinny. But when I knew him, he was a thick dude. He was short like a hockey puck. He was thick and short like a hockey puck.
Of course, after the interview, I had to find out for myself. So I located a 1975 yearbook for Robert E. Lee High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And sure enough, senior portraits. There's a photo of one Al Russo looking an awful lot like a shorter, stockier, hockey puck version of Sal Mineo.
Well, I was the inspiration for the character Jimmy Fucko.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy? The character from Spivey's plays?
Yeah,
What? Come on, Jimmy. Really?
I can't prove it, but it's me.
No.
Oh, yeah. He used to call me Jimmy Fucko on the field in high school. He'd say, Jimmy Fucko, I'm going to throw you this ball. And then he hit me in the head with it. Oh, man, he was a jerk.
Jimmy's claim that he is the inspiration for Jimmy Fucko is dubious at best, but his tales of a teenage Al Russo are just too entertaining to ignore, whether or not he is Jethro Spivey or not. So I've tried to cobble together a sort of greatest hits. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Ronsky, uncut and unfiltered.
Al didn't just steal kids' lunch money. He'd steal their rent money. Fucking catheter money, Fucking penicillin money. He didn't care if you died. He'd take your money. He liked do-re-mi. He fucked my prom date with a wooden salad spoon. Made me watch. He crashed his Mustang right through the front window of Hector Tacante's Taco Palace. Walked away without a scratch. Dude in the passenger seat died. Fucking died. On the spot. He chased me up the street with a butcher knife, yelling, "Pumpkins are delicious." Fuck if I know what he meant by it. A new kid lit his hair on fire in the schoolyard, and he beat the shit out of the kid while his hair was still burning. The kid's laying there bloody and oozing, and Jimmy finally put his hair out. In biology class, he dissected his frog with a Bic Eraser Mate pen. Come to think of it, he was voted most likely to lead a life of mystery and intrigue. Ooh. Once they stole a golf cart from Piney Hills and painted it with a rebel flag on top, like the Dukes of Hazzard. He called it the General Wee. You know, 'cause it was so small. Oh man, he hated that show, Happy Days. He used to call Fonzie a little bitch. He definitely had a girlfriend who was a Nazi. I can vouch for that personally. When he was 16, he got a tattoo that said Nixon takes it in the ass. And then he had it removed. He wore a size 2 shoe, though. Some little baby feet. Little tiny feet. We called him Micro Toe. Rumor had it that he cut off the assistant principal's nutsack and fed it to his pet frog, Gene. Senior year, he removed one of his kidneys on a dare. And then he had to donate it to science, even though he didn't want to. But he couldn't put it back in. He didn't have the medical skills. I don't know what happened to him after high school. I lost touch.
Apparently, everyone lost touch with Al Russo after high school. I interviewed a few other classmates of his, and none of them knew where he wound up or if he was even still alive. There were some vague rumors that he blew town in the late 70s, but no one knows where or for what reasons. So it is conceivable that he moved to New York City in the late 70s and published a play under the name Jethro Spivey in 1979, but I couldn't confirm this with anyone who knew him. What I did find out was that Al Russo has a younger brother, Dean, who lives in Baton Rouge, and I was able to track down Dean Russo, and he was kind enough to sit down and have a few words with me.
Well, Al was 6 years older than me, so by the time I started high school in 77, he'd already left for parts unknown. Never looked back.
Do you know if he ever lived in New York City?
No, I have no idea where he went. He didn't send us a postcard or nothing.
Right. Did he ever write under a pen name, Jethro Spivey, that you know of?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that he ever did much writing. It's a possibility. He kept a diary, mostly like I hate mom, that kind of shit. He never loved her. She never loved him. Hell, I can't think of anything she did love growing up. Except maybe that show Cheers. That Woody was a hoot. But we didn't hear a word from him after that. He just dropped off the face of the earth. I heard he was in New Orleans, but I guess it's a possibility that he moved up to New York. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything from him till the funeral. Well, he wasn't saying much.
Whose funeral was this?
His funeral.
Really? Al passed?
Mm-hmm. He died in 1993.
God, Dean, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. What, how did he die?
It was cancer got him.
Oh, man.
He was pretty young. But he was a good kid. Never got into much trouble. Well, except for that one time. He cut off the vice principal's balls and fed him to his frog, Gene. That was odd, I gotta admit. That poor frog was hacking up pubic hairs for the next week or two. Poor Gene. He didn't want to eat them. But those were strange times in Baton Rouge town.
On the next episode of Bullshit Artists.
I do not know who this Spivey is, but I do know the Russo, and if they are the same person, The Russo owes me $500 from 20 years ago. That is not compounded interest. That is a lot of money. And if he does not pay soon, if you find him, tell him if he does not pay soon, I will send the goons. And the goons break the legs.
At some point, you've just got to ask yourself, how bad do you want to know the story? Because, some stories are better left untold.